Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. ESU has released an updated version of their cab control wireless control system with some significant changes. Now, in case you're wondering, this is item number 50310. It includes a 15 to 21 volt adjustable power supply. It includes both the cab control integrated control unit and the handheld. And one of the major changes, I'll just give you a hint right now, is the ability to use it as an independent braking mechanism on the side of the controller. So that's a pretty neat feature, but we'll get into this right now with the unboxing. So let's see what you get in the box and how this ESU cab control system works. All right, in the box, first of all, if I can get it, is the cab control handheld unit. And the first thing you'll notice is the difference is the slider on the side, which supposedly can handle braking. So we'll take a look at that as part of this review. You also have the integrated control unit. There is the power pack. The plug that plugs into the power pack. This is a lanyard so you don't drop your control unit. It says ESU Digital Command Control on the side with the ESU website. And also a USB-C charger, because they've also updated this to USB-C on the bottom. On the back of the control unit, there's the program and main plugins. Now you can remove these so it's easier to have these terminals to screw in your wiring. So those are available for both the programming track and the main track. And last but not least, instruction manual is now digital, so you can go to that QR code. I'll try to flatten that out for you so you could even freeze frame it and go to the QR code if you wanted to from my video to see the manual, but also the manual is listed as a website down below if this wants to focus. So there you go. Hopefully that's nice and focused for you. But that is all for the contents of this system. So setup is pretty easy. I've set aside one of these quick plugs for the program track because it's not needed for what we're doing here. For the main, I'm going to use my extremely lazy screwdriver here. And those look like they're backed out completely. So what we're going to do is install alligator clips so we can have track power. What you'll notice with this is backing the screw out elevates this little area, and then you put the wire in that area and you put the screw back tight again and it cinches down on those. So that's as simple as that. We plug that into the main, and then the alligator clips are going to go to your track. This is just a test track setup. For your actual layout, you'll want to do the same, but wire it into your DCC equipped layout. And then the next step is you take your ESU controller or your power unit here. This here adjusts the voltage. So that's in the manual. That will range in voltage. So it'll show you, how to adjust that. I'm going to leave it right where it is for now. You plug in that part, which goes to just your wall plug. And then this side goes to the back of the integrated control unit. Barrel plug, as you can see there, control unit, barrel plug receiver, simple as that. And now you have everything set up for the receiving end, other than plugging it into the wall, obviously, which I shouldn't have to show you that part. Plugging the control unit in, which I can flip around so that you see it the other way, is going to show you a series of blinking lights and a power light. But once you turn on the cab control, which also has soft buttons now versus hard press buttons, it's another difference. There's a protective film on here as well. You'll get the cab control starting up. It's got updated electronics. It seems to have faster processing capacity, so it seems like it's moving faster than the original, so they may have upgraded the processor most likely. And then you have the same interface that we had on the first one. So hitting this button, settings first, I should say, will take you to network and internet. And what you're connecting to is the ESU Wi-Fi system, not your home internet or anything, just the ESU Wi-Fi system. So it says connected, no internet, and that's fine. And we're going to go to the little locomotive icon. And just like on the original version, you have to create a locomotive. So this locomotive we have on the track, just out of sight, is a scale trains locomotive. I'm going to change to 128. We're going to go address of 3. And you can change the image. You can upload your own images, which I showed in the original. And then we have the locomotive set here. There's only 12 functions showing right now. You can always show more through custom changes. But the main thing is the side button you have to hit to turn green. And that will, maybe it's this one. It shows a new locomotive, ES44AC. It noticed that, so we can just go with that. And now we have control. So it picked up the locomotive because it's ESU. Otherwise you want to put it in automatically, but we have control over the lights and such. So prime mover is 8, so we'll do that. As you can see, that status light turned blue. Control over the headlight. Ditch lights. Alright, hopefully this is coming in clear because my camera does not like reflective surfaces, but you go to edit locomotive. You scroll down, like I want 128 speed steps, so I'll do that. You can change the image like we said, all of that. But down here under brake slider left, you can do brake function 1. And then it gives you the functions listed through 28 to select the proper brake function for your decoder. So it's brake slider, or brake function 1, brake slider right, so that's left. Brake slider right also has the function listed. And then physical brake slider, which is the actual brake slider, you can list. So we'll turn all of these off except for the physical brake slider, and we'll pick the correct function for that. So brake function, under the physical slider 1, I have selected F10, which is braking in the ESU V5 decoder. So I'm going to hit save now. And now we're going to move the locomotive, brake slider being up, And then I slide the brake, and that brakes the locomotive. So that's how the brake slider works. There's some other functions that can be assigned to these other buttons, like the physical brake map, etc. As you can see, the brake's engaged, but the RPM is still up there. So the brake is doing its job there with the brake slider. Another really cool feature of this system is the real scale speed display. You have to go to Edit Locomotive, which I've already done in this case. You select miles per hour instead of speed steps, and you save it as your maximum there. And you're going to take this obviously to something that's a little more than a test track here. You got to go set CV6 to 127 and then CV53 to 90. Then you run the locomotive at max speed through the speedometer. You adjust the CV until your speedometer reaches something like 70 miles per hour. Then the scale display will show via gray on the outside. So you're going to have to watch this here. I'm going to put the slider up. We're going to move this up here, and you see that little gray area working its way up? That's the real scale miles per hour showing. We don't have much room to show this here, but you'll see what you set it to, like 70 being the max, and you see that gray working its way up to the actual scale miles per hour. So like right now it's about 5 or 6 scale miles per hour. You see that little tiny gray bar right there. So there's so many other features you can cover here. Like again, under Edit Locomotive, you can choose an image, and it has a lot of images pre-populated. A lot of European stuff is pre-populated, but you can go in the system like I covered on the first review of the original version of this, and you can populate your own image, and it doesn't have to be, it can be like a real picture of one, and they've increased the resolution. So you do see some American locomotives in here, like the big boy was in here. You can search locomotives, so I can type in ES44 and see what pops up. Right now nothing, but you can do ES. But yeah, so you can search stuff in here, connect it to your computer, and upload your own images. So there are GE Modern, so you can use something like that if you just want something that's already in there. You hit save, and now that's popping up right there. But if you want to get really OCD, you can pick your particular locomotive, and like this is a Canadian National patched locomotive, and you can take a picture of it and upload your own picture, or find a real picture, or whatever you want. That's another cool feature of this system. So there's a lot of other cool things you can do as well. You can control DCC turnouts with this. It's really in depth. The review would take forever to cover all of that, but there are 28 functions or 30 functions listed here that it automatically picked up on. But again, you can also add non-ESU locomotives to this system. Now you can connect to the internet to search Google and use this as a little iPhone or iPad or Android device, which technically this is Android. They have already loaded Engine Driver into this, which is also controlling locomotives through the internet, so in Bluetooth, so that's neat as well. You can swipe up and see, if I go back to this, you can hit those 3 bars at the bottom and close things out. But you can swipe up and see what they've got pre-installed. So again, apologies if this goes out of focus. It's very hard with a reflective surface. But you can listen to music, you can play videos, you can choose wallpapers with photographs, gallery. that you can load some of those photos in for the locomotive. Like, lots of different apps already included here. So the main thing to remember with this is people want to hook this up to their internet, which they absolutely can, their home internet, but for it to communicate with the cab control, you want to make sure it is hooked up to the ESU network that's showing, ESU Wi-Fi, even though it says no internet. That was my big snag at the beginning there. So that is it. That is not it in terms of what all this does, but that's the updated version. Again, soft press keys on the side. Got your slider, soft press key on the top. Really a nice unit. You've got your upgraded USB-C. Looks like a headphone jack on the bottom. So those are your updates, a lot of your updates from the previous system. So you got your plastic that everybody loves to peel off, but it's going to make this look even more reflective if I took it off. So, but overall, really nice unit. There's the back in case you're wondering what that looks like. So here's a quick visual comparison of the two versions. You see there's two hard buttons there where you have your slider and you have your soft buttons here on the newer version to the right. Top, soft button versus hard button. Again, the newer one's on the right, even a slightly lighter gray. Left, two soft buttons just in a different position. And bottom, you have USB-C on the right on the newer version versus your micro USB on the left. Now I did test the startup time for the older version. It has been going for almost a minute. So there's a good 40-second difference in startup time. It's now over a minute at 1 minute and 20 seconds. All right, we have the older cab control. It is working with the new one. I just put a different locomotive on the track. And we have complete control just like we had before. Just want to make sure you select the proper locomotive. And if it's not ESU, it's going to not use that rail comm. You'll have to put it in manually with the address as I showed you at the beginning. But here we have it. Locomotive is working as advertised. Switch directions. Everything plays nicely together. So good to go. So that is your answer to that question. Will your old units work with the new one? Absolutely. So overall, pretty cool and updated and a lot quicker and modernized. So with that said, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. I'll try to put a link for the manual so you can keyword search the manual yourself and see what all it does, because this video would be 5 hours long if we covered everything. But that's all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the channel.